Like any other company, Valve itself is starting to use AI tools. And for anyone being upset by this, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to be really dumb because if you don't use AI today in some form or fashion, you're going to be left behind and things are going to do bad. Let's read into it so I can talk about it more later. Valve writer Eric Wolpaw says some at the studio have been experimenting with AI tools. To say some, Valve writer Eric Wolpaw. Okay, anyway, Portal and Half Life writer Eric Wolpaw recently appeared on a podcast and said that he and a small team at Valve have been poking around at using AI to generate text, audio, and more. The veteran games writer says he's not worried about AI taking over creative writing anytime soon, but is very interested in how controversial tech could have been used in video games. During an episode of MinMax podcast last week, oh, MinMax, nice. Wolpow joined the crew to talk about games, news, and of course, Valve. And the topic of generative AI came up, leading to Wolpow saying quite a lot about how some devs at Valve are using it, while also making it clear that it isn't a company wide initiative, nor is it meant to replace anyone. So, one thing Wolpow says, so one thing we've been doing, and when I say we, I don't mean Valve, I mean a small group of people at Valve, we've been looking at some AI stuff and Wolpow on the podcast, said Wolpow. I'm currently not worried about AI taking over creative writing because it's pretty bad at it, and I'm not just saying that defensively. Like, we've really been messing around with it. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon writing novels than any that are better than humans writing books. Eric Wolpow thinks AI can be used in game development. Wolpow says, however, that generative tools like ChatGPT could prove useful for letting games and characters in them react in real time to whatever chaos a player is causing. In fact, according to Half Life Reddit, after toying around with the tech at Valve, that's the thing he claims AI is best at doing. The thing that the game writing specifically is that we have always had to simulate characters in the games reacting to whatever you do, explained Wolpow. It's the one place where I feel like AI is worth investigating, game writing. And the thing we found is that this is just the early days. It's not good at being especially creative. It's not good at being funny, but it's kind of interesting in a imagine Grand Theft Auto where you're going around creating a lot of physical chaos. There's a certain amount of social chaos when where you have the AI play the straight man as much as it can, and it's just reacting to whatever insanity happens. It's one thing is very good at just going along with whatever insane thing you say and kind of adjusting to the flow of that. I am very interested in AI in this very specific case. Admitting the Half Life writer who left Valve for a few years before returning in a part time capacity in 2019. It will allow you to do something that is impossible no matter how many humans you throw at it. Valve isn't making Half Life 3 or Portal 3 using Gen AI tools. At a few points in the interview, Holpow seemingly aware that this might reported on and his quote spread online. Tried to make it clear that Valve isn't using AI basically. No matter what happens, Valve isn't using generative AI for the games. Okay, let it be known before and wide that is not a convert valve thing, right? In fact, it's maybe the first time they're hearing about it. There's nothing other than just some people sitting around being like, this is crazy technology. It would be kind of silly for us not to look into it, at least, said the writer. Wolpow also said the idea of using AI to replace people or make games cheaper doesn't interest him at all. Instead, he just thinks the tech could be used to make a better experience for people playing the game. And that's the way you would use tools like this. Weird. They people have left comments, but you can't even read them. All right. But that's why you should be using these tools as tools, right? You have these tools at your possession. You see this crazy technology. You're like, yo, I don't know if it's gonna be good. I don't know if it's gonna be bad. Let's just mess around with it. Let's see how it is, and that's perfectly fine. As long as it's not replacing anybody, then that's all it should be good at. Generative AI or AI in itself can be good at being a benchmark to undercut the boring stuff that you shouldn't need to do. Like, I know a few people are upset that it can do some coding, but like, is that inherently bad? If you're going to write a code and then later on, and then the AI itself is like, yo, I know what code you're writing because you're gonna, because it's basically the same exact thing that you will have to do. why not just streamline the process and press enter and that's all done for you? And in this case, he goes and says, "Yo, it does one good thing at letting you just go wild and crazy in a situation where you can do anything, and it'll just go along with it." And with that, I think it's really cool that they are working with the in that kind of mindset. Um, some AI tools can be really cool. Some are, but like if it's not, but as long as it's not removing someone's work, it's perfectly fine. Um, something like what happened with Crimson Desert when they were adding stuff to like art, AI art. I think that should be removed because that's stupid. Why are you having generative AI concept art? That why would you even add that in other than to maybe like make have it be so that no one notices it and you can just put it in there and never think about it ever again. It's meant to like, but that could have been done by a real artist, you know? What's the music in Crimson Desert? Who are the artists behind that? There is no artist. Do we know that's AI? Do we not know that's AI? You know, I'm getting off topic. Generally, what he's saying is true. You should just use it as a tool. As long as it's not taken away from anything, it's perfectly fine. And it can be very cool going forward. And I don't think it's inherently bad. I don't think AI is inherently bad. Is more so how we are seeing it used that it's bad. Um, yeah, I mean, I forget what company it is, but they were like, yeah, we're just doing AI, we're using AI for like testing our games now. So then so then our game developers, not game, the game testers don't have to like run into a wall 50 billion times to see if something will break. I forget what story that comes from. I'll try to find it later and talk about it. But generally, I think something like that is good because it's monotonous. You shouldn't need to do that because you don't get into the actual testing of what some system mechanics can do because you're gonna have to jump through a wall 50 billion times. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Take care and see ya.